now, your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Wrestling with Friends, Wrestling with Freddie, and Wrestling with Jeff Dye. How are you guys? We got a great episode for you today. We got some SummerSlam recap, our predictions, making you cash left and right, up, down, and all around. Let's start the show. Jeff.
What up, buddy?
You know me as Freddie, but a lot of people out there know me as the predictor of predictors.
Let me tell you.
The prognosticator of prognosticators. A lot of people compare me and Punxsutawney Phil and Nostradamus all in the same sentence.
You send in little pictures of groundhogs and gifs of. That was the most annoying part about SummerSlam, was how you got it all right. It was very flustering.
Not all of it, but that one I got right, I got really, really right.
But you went against Sami Zayn. You were right. You got all your picks, you know?
Well, you talked me into that.
Very impressive.
It was a good day for all of us on picks. And if you guys went with us and bet the whole card, you made money. If you bet individual matches, you might have lost, but you probably won as well, because you went with your boy, Freddie. First of all, before we get into this, SummerSlam was freaking awesome. That's one of like the best pay-per-view or whatever they call it now. That was one of the best ones I've seen in I don't know how long. Every single match was awesome, and every match told an awesome story. And CM Punk was like the most generous wrestler that I've ever seen in his career. That was the most generous match I've ever seen in his whole career. I was like just stuck to the TV the whole time. Anyway. SummerSlam was awesome. You agree? You loved it, right?
Top to bottom, it was absolutely phenomenal. It felt, I don't know. I thought maybe it was just me, but I feel like everyone that I know that loves wrestling agrees. It was top to bottom a great pay-per-view. Loved it.
Dude, it was so cool. And the matches were well, we're going to get into it. All right. Anyway, first up, the Women's World Championship. If you hear a bit of arrogance in my voice, it's well earned. Liv Morgan, the champion, versus Rhea Ripley in a scenario where our great producer Alex, and Mr. Jeff Dye both picked Rhea Ripley. Not a bad choice. I mean, she is the dominant force in women's wrestling and just powerful, great on the microphone. You could build any company you want around her. But your old boy, Freddie, saw some deceit and deception in the eyes and the heart of one Dominic Mysterio. And not only did I pick Liv Morgan to take this championship and retain it, but I told you people how it would be retained. That Dominic would turn his back. I told you why. I gave you the reasons in that speech where, I hate you, Liv. I hate you. Da, da, da. It was too good. It was too rehearsed, almost as if Liv told him to say it. Mm-hmm. And she did. And the plan worked. And she retained her title as she hit her finisher onto Rhea's head off a friggin' steel chair, and it looked really freaking good. And Dominic Mysterio got the makeout sesh on the way up. Because Rhea Ripley, I'll tell you why, Rhea. The most you gave him was some tongue on the cheek. You licked his face like he was just a pet. And Liv Morgan, she was already beat you by stretching him out that 1 week on Monday Night Raw. Gave him a good stretching. And a double straddle in weeks after. And then he got the full-on makeout session. So yeah, that's what happens in the world of wrestling. Soap operas be damned. Jeff, how did you feel watching this match?
That dirty little Jezebel, I don't need all that. I'm a good man. I like romance. I like love. I believe in love.
You really do. You're not just being goofy. You
can't believe Liv Tyler did this to a Dirty Dom. You can't trust a guy named Dirty anything.
Liv Morgan, not Liv Tyler.
Whatever the hell her name is. I don't like that little
Liv
rat.
Tyler.
Liv Tyler. I don't need her. Liv Morgan.
She ruined a perfect relationship.
It was a bad week, bad few weeks, bad few months for love in wrestling. You know, Britt Baker, Sasha Banks. Now,
Oh no, is everybody breaking up?
everyone's
dude?
breaking up, in real life, in their storylines and everything.
Dog days of
It's-
summer, man.
it's
Dog days of summer.
No good. But this match was awesome. And also the acting was phenomenal. Dirty Dom walking away with Liv Morgan like around his arm around her.
Yeah.
Looked so like Eddie Guerrero. It looked so like
It's
just
the first time he had his arm around someone
Mhm.
and they didn't have their arm around him.
Yeah.
Now he's in control, dude. It was so good.
it was great. And then Rhea Ripley's reaction to it was money. Like it was very, 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 very good acting, which is hard to come by in wrestling. You see good wrestling, you see good stuff like mic work, but like this was really, really on the nose acting. It was very, very good. I was surprised they did this, but that's I like it when they surprise me. So it was very good. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And she did the Lethal Weapon shoulder replacement.
Oh
when
yeah.
you dislocate your shoulder and what's his name? Martin Riggs, the Mel Gibson character. Smash! And he smashed his shoulder in the locker to pop it in. She did it like 3-4 different times.
She also
man.
did
It's
such good
badass.
acting that like I did that thing again where I was like, is it really out? Like, is her shoulder really out? I see like a little bump there, like what is going on? And but like there would be bruising and all that stuff. But anyways, it was very good. I liked that she did it. It worked. It worked well. I was very happy.
I love this because we all know where this story's going. The Judgment Day is falling apart. It has crumbled. It's no more. We'll get into that more later. Rhea Ripley is going to reclaim her championship, either a Bad Blood or Survivor Series. And it's going to take Liv everything she can do to stop her. She's going to try using Dom and everything else in her power, and she's not going to be able to. And Rhea Ripley, without the Judgment Day, without anyone, all by herself, standing on her own, is going to be one of the biggest babyface champions ever when she takes this title. I love that Liv retained. I love the way that Liv retained. I love that now there's a reason to fight and humiliate Dom even more, because people were thinking maybe Dom was going to end up being the babyface out of this instead of even a bigger scumbag that he already was. I know I always take his side, but I'm just joking. Don't do that, you guys. So now he's a total dirtbag. We get to see him get punched and knocked out by Rhea in the next match. And then we get to see, that distraction maybe lead to Liv winning again. And then Rhea will have to fight her way back up and then get it. And when she finally does, she's standing on the mountaintop by herself. And this podcast knew it all the time, ladies and gentlemen.
I do want to add too, this is fun. I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I feel like they're finally using Liv Morgan the way they should. I feel like she's been floating around the ether in a lot of ways. And
you haven't liked the way she was booked. I didn't like the way her championship run had been booked. I think we're fair, dude. We give love when we like it. And if we don't, we're like, I didn't really.
This was the best way to use her. Like for sure.
She killed it.
And it's making me care about the Liv Morgan story. So very good stuff, WWE.
The Intercontinental Championship. The champion, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. All three of us, Alex included, we all picked Braun this time. You were very surprised that I turned my back on the Montreal Canadian Sami Zayn, that I jumped off the bandwagon as quickly as I did. But I saw where that wagon was heading, and it was off a bridge, Jeff. And I'm not ready to die for any of my fanhood. So I jumped off. And I hopped on a horse named Braun and rode it all the way into the sunset.
Any
baby.
horses going off bridges in this friendship is on Red Dead Redemption when we shoot them in the head.
Bro, that's all I do now. I saw a video. I sent it to you.
So good.
And that's all I do is I run into the red zone where you're not allowed to go like before you beat the game. All these like lawmen come after you within 40 seconds. And instead of killing them and fighting and running away, I just get on my horse, take off, and as they're chasing me, just put bullets in their horse heads.
It's perfect. Well, like on Grand Theft Auto, if you shoot the car, a man's in the car and the car explodes. Well, in the West, you just shoot the horse in the head. The horse will fall down.
Bro,
that guy's done.
This is going to be a whole episode on Grand Theft Auto. Don't bring that up. I used to play that game obsessively.
Also, we would never hurt a horse. We would never shoot a man.
Oh, God, no. Just in video games.
These are video games where we get to be bad cowboys.
Yeah, you love being the bad. You shoot the nun character if you could.
Full bad cowboy.
Well, Braun Breaker's a full bad cowboy, and he took a whooping in the beginning of this match, but in front of his father, Rick Steiner, and his uncle Scott Steiner, in front of his dad and his uncle, and barks from the crowd, oof, 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 and from McAfee.
So cool.
He becomes the Intercontinental Champion. And I don't know how long they can hold him back from the world title picture, but they have to hold him back a little bit. But he's so cool, dude. I don't know he's not the best actor in the world. He's a really good wrestler. But I don't know what it is. Even in his promos, he doesn't have a lot to say, but the way he says it is just so cool. It's the only way I can describe it. He just sounds like a tough son of a bitch.
Yeah, I love him.
Goes to bars and fights people and is like, yeah, I'll punch your friend out too. He didn't even do anything. I just love him, man. I love his character. I think that's why I picked him and not Sammy in this match, because he's just he reminds me of his friggin' dad and his uncle, man. Like he's cool as hell. And unlike his dad, Rick, they see world titles on this guy. They see that as his future. And by the time we get, our producer had suggested this a couple weeks ago, by the time we get to the Netflix era, I think I agree with Alex, they want to position him to kind of be the face of that show.
Oh, really?
Of Monday Night Raw, and
that's good.
And that's the trajectory they see for him. And when he said that, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, that would be a smooth transition too," because he's just such a friggin' stud, man. He's just a stud.
Here's another thing. I saw some messages and some tweets after last week saying, like, how did Jeff Dye not know that was one of the Steiner's kids? I don't know all the things, but I will say
that's easy.
I was also aware, or I wasn't even aware that Rick Steiner was still alive. I didn't know that. Like in my mind, I thought for some reason I thought Rick had passed, and I knew that Scott is just such a controversial character that like wrestling doesn't like to necessarily touch some of those old.
Oh no, is
guys
he? He says stuff.
Oh, he's a wild man. Yeah, like I really.
I don't know any of the gossip stuff.
During COVID, he would make how everybody was doing cameos, like you could buy cameos.
Yeah, of course.
Rick would do cameos where he would just slam your wife or like make fun of your body. He would like cut a promo on, and they were so creative and so aggressive and very not PG. But I was thinking, if the Steiners are still alive, because you can't really embrace the Road Warriors when Hawk is no longer with us. You can't really embrace Demolition when Crush has passed away, So what I was thinking is like, why don't they use the Steiners in wrestling still, like the tag team?
I wonder if it's because they were more WCW. And like they never really had a big WWF run not to my memory. So maybe that's why. I don't know, man. I mean, Scott and Hunter had that great bit I see all the time on Instagram, the arm wrestling bit.
Yeah.
Where it's like from Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone.
But like most people, young people don't even remember that movie, let alone that.
No, I get, that's a dumb reference. But
I loved that movie. It's ridiculous.
I wonder why. Maybe because Scott says wild shit and they're corporate owned. And
I think that's what it's got to be. But anyways, I love Braun Breaker. I loved this match. I love that they were there in attendance. I love that the people were barking. I loved that I learned that he's a Steiner. I will say he's like Donald Trump, though, with all this Braun Breaker spray tan. He's got to get it under control. He is the tannest, orangest wrestler. And as he wrestles, you see it coming off.
My man texted me. My man texted, believe it or not, I cheat on you guys, and I text wrestling with other people too.
Oh,
and
that's all right.
My buddy, this actor who's really good at predictions on these things too, and I've talked about him but never given his name. He said, "Yo, did you just see Burt Reynolds win the Intercontinental Championship?"
Burt Reynolds, that's great. No, it's not even a real tan. It is a spray. No, it's like coming off on the other wrestler. It's like what is going on here?
Hey man, come on, man. It's a part of the job. It's a part of the job. Sometimes you don't have time to get out in the sun and get it naturally, dude. You got to just get some spray paint and put it on. That's funny. Yo, they spray painted me tan for that baseball movie I did. Mm-hmm. And then I had a scene in the pool, like a sexy time scene in the pool with Jesse Biel. and all the spray tan like came off in
Oh,
the pool.
no.
There's this big old brown cloud. I was like, yo, I did not shit my pants in the pool. This sucks.
Well,
Please cut. I don't want to be on camera right now. It was horrible, dude.
The tough part about that stuff is you'll put it on. You know, I've worn it for like things and projects or whatever, or just even like when I was younger, I would just go get a spray tan, right? And then I would look in the mirror and I'm like, I'm looking good. But then you go into like some different lighting and you're like, oh no, this is terrible. Like just like
I have not gotten a spray tan outside of film and television.
Life does not have perfect lighting everywhere. You know, sometimes you're going to be in some harsh lighting.
I love the spray tan people. You guys that spray tan, keep on spraying, keep on missing spots. I'll never rag on you. All right. Next up, the Women's Championship. We all got this wrong. We all believed in our hearts that Bayley was going to be the ultimate babyface champion and be able to defeat Godzilla. She wasn't able to, Jeff. Nia Jax was able to defeat her with a slight distraction from Tiffany Stratton, which I didn't quite understand why she brought the ref out if her and Nia are bros.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the match, even though Nia saw that, she's like, yeah, we're still bros. It's cool. Because to me, the story is going to be very Mariah May, Toni Storm, right? Like, you know, they're going to fight and you're just waiting for Tiffy to turn on her. So that part I didn't get. I think Tiffy could have just like ran out with the case and tried to hit her with the case and then get punked out. Knocked on her ass, and then Nia can still get the same win. So that part I didn't get, but whatever. Party on. Tiffany's going to be the friggin' champion. That's the storyline going forward. I don't think there's any doubt. She's got a rocket ship strapped to her behind, and it is in stage 4. So she will be the champ soon. I don't know how long Nia keeps it. Their friendship is not going to last. I don't think it lasts till WrestleMania, or maybe that's the perfect time for it to last. But yeah, she's going to be champ. I think that's the only story there. What about you?
I agree with you about Tiffany Stratton. I think that I was happy for Nia. Like, I was like actually happy that
it was a good match.
Yeah, it was good. And I think that's another part of me going like, this whole pay-per-view was good because I'm always dogging on Nia and it was good and it made sense. She hit her finishing move multiple times.
Yeah.
It was convincing. She looked good in there, like as far as the match went. And yeah, I was surprised, but I was also like, yeah, Nia did good. I'm just going to say it for the millionth time. Bring her to the bloodline. Bring Nia Jax to the bloodline.
She even said she'd be down.
And she's got a belt. She's got a belt now. So now we could really make this not only this family look dope, but like they're going to look like champions. So
maybe when the Tiffy story's over, there's room for her, but I think she's tied up at the moment. Jeff, let's move on to the match of the night. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
Special guest referee, Poofy Pants, Seth Rollins. They were really baggy. I don't know how you can do your job effectively in pants that baggy, but I'm going to let it slide. Also, the bedazzled shirt was a little too much. Son of a bitch. Anyway, this match was amazing. And the story these two men told was my favorite story. Wow, that's tough, man, because Priest and Gunther was really good too. But this was just like next level. You really wanted it for CM Punk based on how Drew's acted. And if you like Drew McIntyre, you feel really justified and vindicated by what he's getting to do to CM Punk. Normally in a CM Punk match, at worst, it's 50-50 whether he wins or loses. Even if he loses, sometimes he's 60-40. This was like a 70-30 beatdown by Drew McIntyre. And there was so much generosity and heart and soul put into this by both dudes. But I was like completely locked into this match, the story they were telling, the fact that CM Punk couldn't get out of his own way. He was blind with rage, Jeff. He was blind with rage. And it caused him to hesitate a couple times on moves or to focus on the bracelet instead of the pin or the submission. I really, really loved it. You could tell that, look, he's straight edge and he's always been committed to that emotional side of wrestling. So even though it's something as simple as a bracelet, to him, it represents so much fucking more than that, which is ridiculous to me, but I'm also not straight edge. I don't think that's the right life for me. So, but he's so freaking committed to it that it's like watching Jim Carrey say the pen is blue in Liar Liar. It's like he's so committed to something so stupid that the whole time I'm like laughing my ass off and as opposed to thinking it's the worst scene in cinema. It's one of the best. And that's how I felt about this match. I get the sense you didn't feel the same way, but dude, I love this match so much.
Oh, no, I felt the same. I'm making all these facial expressions just because I'm working on in my life trying to not. It took me 41 years. I watch movies and go, oh, that would never happen, or that's not realistic. Like, I'm still doing that at this age. And what I'm working on is like, Jeff, yeah, it's a story. They're telling a story. It doesn't have to, you can't watch Ninja Turtles and go, oh God, like that would happen. They're like mutant
there's
Ninja
no such
Turtles.
thing as a beanstalk. It's just a nice story your mom told you when you were a kid, dude.
And I'm gotten pretty good about doing that with movies in the last few months or whatever, but I'm still pretty tough about it with wrestling. I'm like, why would he care about it? It's not like the bracelet
just make a new one, bro.
His wife, it's not like he kissed his wife on the mouth, it's just this little bracelet he kissed. But anyways, so I agree with everything you said. It's just, it was hard for me. Like Seth picks it up off the mat and he's like, why are you wearing that? It's like the ref picks up what falls on the ref, So yeah, it was very, very, very good. I loved it. And also you need those things so that you can have little things to use. And so but it was a really good match. Both of their moves are not crazy. I'm not crazy about the Claymore or whatever that CM Punk knee to the face is, whatever
the go to sleep, the GTS.
Yeah. Those are weird finishing moves, but I love both these guys. Loved the match. Love the story. Hate Seth Rollins' clothes.
What just clicked to me why I connected so much with the Goofy bracelet. My dad, the only thing he gave me was this necklace for Christmas. And it had a Pisces symbol on it because I was born in March. I don't know anything about Pisces other than that. And it says, First Xmas, Freddie James on it. It's got my first and middle name on there. And it meant so much to me. It's like the only thing that I had from him. And I remember I was like fooling around with this kid at school. We were like pro wrestling and he ripped it off my neck. And I said, give it back. And he said, make me. And it was one of the worst beatings that I ever gave a kid. Yeah. Ever. I was like, no, you do not get to take that. And you're going to say, make me? That's an invitation. And like, I'm getting worked up just saying it right now.
Yeah.
Like thinking about it. So
also,
that's
that feels
why
like
I connected to it
like
so
an old
much.
teenage script or something. Like,
it totally is like an after school special moment.
Like,
so
what?
corny.
Like you beat him up, and if even the teachers would be like, "It's the only thing he has."
Nah, I got sent home from school. They were cool, but they sent me home. Anyway, let's move on. By the way, we all picked Drew McIntyre. So if you went with us, you're rich. If you didn't, take your broke ass home. Next up, Damian Priest, the champion, versus Gunther. We all picked Gunther, but this is the best Damian Priest match I've ever seen in my life. This is the best I've ever seen Damian Priest look in my life. I'm not saying I've seen all his matches, although I'm pretty sure I've seen all his WWE matches. I haven't missed an episode of Monday Night Raw since I started this podcast 4 years ago. Holy shit. Like, I knew he was going to lose. And halfway through, I was like, son of a bitch, why does he have to lose? This is amazing. Like, this was such a... Even if you're a casual on wrestling and you're like, man, I ain't trying to watch the pay-per-views. If you have Peacock, it's friggin' free. Mm-hmm. Go log into your account, turn off our podcast, and go watch it. This was such a good pay-per-view, and this match was so friggin' good. And another prediction on this show, and we weren't alone, and once he walked out, everyone knew it. But Finn Balor, as we said, he would turn. He did a little sooner than we said he would, but he turned on Damian Priest, that son of a bitch. He did it to Edge too. He's still pissed he dislocated his shoulder when he won the Universal Championship. And he's just taking it out on everyone. But he screwed over Damian Priest, and Priest lost, but had two great moments of just like movie moments where you're just like, get up, and he actually does, and he gets his hands on the bad guy, and then the even badder guy gets a hold of him again. It was awesome. I'm not going to talk the match highlights, but please watch it if you haven't. It was so good, so much fun. And then we get after this, Jeff, we get to talk about what's freaking next for Gunther. I think we know what's next for Priest, and it's the Irishman, Finn Balor. But I know you love this match, dude. Tell me you love this match.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I'm going to It was a bad SummerSlam for the Judgment Day. Like it just imploded in every single corner of this pay-per-view. But what I will say is, I'm now that it's happened, I'm thinking, why break this up? Why they were? You can still have storylines and keep that group intact, because it's hard to build something as good as what you did with Judgment Day. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll do great with it, and it's working. But like, I like Judgment Day. I think it was a cool little retro group of punk rocker kind of looking people. But anyways,
I love them too, but I would say trust them, dude. I would say trust. WWE's been telling some badass stories. I don't think they blew this up with no plan. So
that's good.
I say trust them, dude.
I loved the match. Gunther and Damian Priest. I really would watch either of these guys fight each other or wherever else they go. I'm just a big fan of both of them so much. There was a weird moment when Finn turns on Damian by putting, like, the big reveal that he put his leg on the rope.
I saw that too. Yeah, Gunther didn't get over there, and he had to get pushed over there.
Yeah, you're like, why push him so close to the rope to go for the pin? It was so unwrestling.
Gunther was supposed to roll. He was supposed to roll, I think.
Yeah, it was very strange. But other than that, I give the match, 10 of 10. It was awesome, and really good storytelling. It was awesome. I loved it.
All right, sir. I think I skipped one. I think we skipped LA Knight and Logan Paul. We did, because I didn't want to let you people know that I was wrong. I don't know why I picked Logan, except out of greed. I wanted to get ahead of the boys. I wanted to get a bigger lead than I already have, and I knew they were going to both pick Knight. In my heart, I wanted Knight. When I was watching the match, I wanted Knight. When the match was over, I thought I picked LA Knight, but I didn't. I picked Logan Paul, and I was wrong. And if I lost you money, I'm sorry. It won't happen again. But if you trusted Jeff and Alex, you won big. And LA Knight has his first WWE main roster championship. It's about friggin' time, I would say. But we predicted his future opponent would be Logan on this show. And we also, if you listen to Jeff and Alex, we predicted he would be the champion as well. So it's still a we. It's a we. It's a win, Jeff.
I'm super happy for LA Knight, and that's exactly who I wanted to win. Yeah, and the match was good. Logan Paul is so athletic. I can't believe how athletic he is.
That fool's doing crazy shit. He's been wrestling like 3 days. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
To anybody that describes Logan Paul as a YouTuber at this point, shame on you. Like, that guy is...
No, he's a WWE
such
wrestler.
an athlete.
I mean,
it's
amazing. I think
amazing.
he still does his YouTube too, though. So I think you can still call him a YouTuber.
Well, I mean, calling like Miz like an MTV reality star.
Like, I feel you in a derogatory. He's a YouTuber,
right? When
you can't say it
like
that. But you could be like, yeah, he's a YouTuber. Then it's cool. Cody Rhodes, the champ, versus Solo Sikoa, the challenger, in a Bloodline Rules match as made on Friday Night SmackDown, the Friday before the pay-per-view. He had 24 hours to prepare for a Bloodline Rules match, and prepared he was. Arn Anderson let him know, hey, you're good. Don't worry, kid. You're good. I've got your back. Got some buddies back there for you. And he went out. What? That was good, Arn Anderson.
Really good.
And he went out, and he has a crazy-ass match. And by the way, I think we were all right on this. Oh, no, you picked Solo, you crazy fool. You picked Solo Sikoa, and Alex and I were right. So you're welcome on more money in your pocket, people. But this match went down the way our producer said it was going to go down. Once Friday Night SmackDown came out, he was like, oh, snap, here comes Roman and The Rock. We got the Roman part right. Roman came out, got a huge reaction from the crowd, spears Solo Sikoa, ensuring the victory for Cody Rhodes to maintain his championship, although Cody's numbers as champ are so good, he won't be losing anytime soon against anybody. So that's your safest pick of every pay-per-view for the next year is Cody Rhodes winning, regardless of the odds stacked against him. He won. Not my match of the night, but another great match, and it closed out a great pay-per-view, Jeff. I loved this SummerSlam. I'm usually a Royal Rumble guy, but hot damn, Jeff. This was good stuff.
I loved it. And also, like you just said, like we said it already, but best pay-per-view I've seen in super, super long. Also, the Roman Reigns coming back. The fact that there was no Paul Heyman, there was no Rock return, there was no these other things, it made it seem more special that Roman Reigns returned. Yeah. It kind of like didn't steal from his shine. And then also, the pay-per-view was already phenomenal. So we didn't need some huge thing where like, The Rock and Paul Heyman is back with, maybe Brock Lesnar or something like that'd have been cool. but also it's fun. We got Roman Reigns back, which was very exciting. And so with the pay-per-view being that solid and Roman Reigns returning, like it was perfect. It was a perfect finish.
Perfect finish to a perfect show. Stay tuned for Thursday. We're going to do a listener review. We're going to open Unsanctioned Thursday with a bad review, and we're going to see how pissed off you can make Jeff die. On behalf of that good man, see you Thursday.
This has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura podcast network. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.